Hello there. So it's interesting when you get into the life of King David, suddenly you realize how much he messes up, especially in the second half. In 2 Samuel, we're going to see so many things, and nobody is justifying any of the things David did, period. In fact, David repents of his sins, just like we all do. We all mess up. We are all sinners without Christ. And Jesus actually takes the Ten Commandments and makes it even harder for them to follow. He says, if you even look at a woman with lust, it's like committing adultery. If you even hate your brother in your heart, you're committing murder. Those things are important for us to remember. When we get into David, we're going to cover all of it, so we're going to get there. 2 Samuel chapter 2 is like a little mini war, kind of the beginning of a war, really, the conflict that rises up because Ishbosheth, one of Saul's sons that was left, and Abner, who was the commander of Saul, Saul puts Ishbosheth in a kingship role, even though he wasn't supposed to. God ordained and anointed David to be king. And Joab, who's actually a relative of David. It's interesting because Abner is a relative of Saul, and Joab's a relative of David, so it's interesting how these things kind of work together. Hebron comes up several times in here. That's where David is going up, and he prays to the Lord. Before this, when we were in the end of 1 Samuel, we noticed David's life was kind of going downhill. He was not right with God, but now he is. He's in a place where he's like, Lord, what should I do? Shall I go up? And God says, yes, go up. And he does that. He prays for guidance like we should all be doing, okay? Abner had failed to, protect Saul, but now he's trying to maintain that lineage of kingship. Hebron itself is a word that means brotherhood. Comes up many times in the Old Testament. In the book of Genesis, you see it. Abraham, or before he was called Abraham, he was Abram at the time, stayed there, and his wife was buried there. Jacob and Esau both lived there. During the book of Joshua, we read that Caleb inherited the land, but Hebron actually becomes one of the cities allotted to the Levites as a sanctuary city for people who accidentally kill people, a city of refuge, which we're not going to really talk about too much right now. Anyway, but there's this whole battle brewing here. It's like a civil war kind of between Joab and the people that David has put together, and then Saul, of course. David, see here, Zariah comes as verse 18. Now the three sons of Zariah were Joab, Abishai, and Ashiel. Zariah is David's half-sister. We believe that David may have actually not been full-blooded with both parents of the brothers were actually different. They were half brothers, half sisters. So his mother may not have been the same. There's a reason for all that kind of that question that comes up, and another linkage to Jesus, where people were kind of questioning his parentage because Jesus and the virgin birth and the virgin birth of Mary and everything. Another time, another place for that. Anyway, Ashiel is the one that is a good runner, but he goes running, and Abner is like, stop running, I'm going to kill you if you catch up to me. And he does. He warns him twice and he kills him. But don't worry, Joab is going to take care of that soon enough. We'll get to there in another chapter. But this whole thing ends, and it's a reminder to us that there is no peace for the flesh and the spirit. Jesus cannot have peace with the sin in our lives. If we are harboring onto sin, habitually living in sin, that's not going to work. David's going to run into that later when he does make some serious mistakes, and he's going to repent, and he's going to turn back to God. And that's very important for us to understand. All of us are in that boat. We are all sinners. We are all fallen short. None of us want justice from God. When it comes down to it, we need his grace. We need to fall down at the foot of his mercy and grace always. So we're going to keep going in chapter 3 tomorrow. Looking forward to that. God bless. Thank you for listening.